Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Vice President Bears. Council Caraviello. Council Collins. Council Knight. Council Knight is absent. Council Scarpelli.
Yeah.
Council Singh.
You're President.
Yeah.
President Morrell.
Present, 6 present, 1 absent. Please rise to salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Records. The records of the meeting of July 25th, 2023 were passed to Councilor Singh. Councilor Singh, how did you find the records?
I found them in order and I move to approve.
On the motion of Councilor Singh to approve the records, seconded by Councilor Collins. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes. Reports of committees 23-032, July 25th, 2023, Committee of the Whole, Solid Waste Collection report to follow. This was a meeting just to discuss about the process for giving the mayor the power to approve a waste contract for 10 years. And then we voted on that at the following meeting. Do I have a motion? On the motion of Councilor Caraviello to approve, seconded by Vice President Bears. All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion passes. Hearings 23-323, legal notice, Medford City Clerk's Office, notice of a public hearing, Medford City Council, Chapter 94, zoning. The Medford City Council will conduct a public hearing on August 15th, 2023 at 7 p.m. in person and via Zoom in the Medford City Council chamber on the second floor of Medford City Hall, 85 George P. Hassett Drive, Medford, Mass, relative to a petition by City Council Vice President Isaac B. Zach Bears, Councilor Richard Caraviello, and Councilor Kit Collins to amend Chapter 94 zoning of the revised ordinances City of Medford as outlined in paper 23-323, titled Proposed Amendments to the Medford Zoning Ordinance for June 2023, heard June 6, 2023. A link to the public hearing will be posted no later than August 11th, 2023. The petition proposes correction.
Motion to waive the reading.
On the motion of Councilor Singh to waive the reading, seconded by Councilor Caraviello. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes. As this is a public hearing, I do need to open it up. So we'll open the public hearing, but then we do have a request to continue the public hearing. Vice President Bears. So the public hearing is now open.
Motion to continue the public hearing to our September 5th regular meeting.
Okay. And the reason being that this is still being heard by the CD board.
Comments from the need to be incorporated into the,
So on the motion of Vice President Bears to continue the public hearing till our next regular meeting on September 5th, seconded by Councilor Caraviello. All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion passes. The hearing will be continued to our next regular meeting on September 5th. 23-369, legal notice, Medford City Clerk's Office, notice of a public hearing, Medford City Council, Chapter 94, zoning. The Medford City Council will conduct a public hearing on August 15th, 2023 at 7 p.m. in person and via Zoom in the Medford City Council chamber on the second floor of Medford City Hall, 85 George P. Hassett Drive, Medford, Mass, relative to a petition by 96-102 Winchester Street, LLC, to amend zoning map City of Medford, Massachusetts, dated April 13th, 1965, as referenced in Medford Zoning Ordinance, Chapter 94-2.2. The amendment proposes to change the zoning district designation of the properties 96 through 102 Winchester Street and 104 Winchester Street from general residence GR zoning district and commercial 1 C1 zoning district to a planned development district PDD, which would have a new development standards as depicted on the plan entitled Area Plan at 100 Winchester Street, dated December 7, 2022, per Medford Zoning Ordinance, Chapter 94-9.2.3. A link to the public hearing will be posted no later than August 11, 2023. Call 781-393-2425 for accommodation/aids TDD 781-393-2516. The full materials for amendment can be viewed in the office of the city clerk, City Hall Room 103, or on the city's website at medfordmad.org/department/planning-development-sustainability by clicking on current CD board filings. Advertised in the Medford Transcript July 13th and 2023, signed Adam L. Hurtubise, city clerk. We have Attorney Silverstein here, as well as Director Hunt, who's going to give us just an update on what's before us. As a reminder, this is the proposed plan development district, which is something that came to be in the zoning recodification that was passed last March, March 2023, sorry, it's all blurring together. And this is, I believe this is the first one to come before us at this stage. So I'm going to hand it over to Director Hunt first, just to tell us a little bit more about the the project and the process before us.
Right. Thank you, Madam President. Alicia Hunt, Director of Planning, Development, and Sustainability for the City of Medford. The city retained Attorney Silverstein on this matter. And actually, I would like to have him introduce sort of the whole process here, where we are in this process and what are the next steps, so that you have the framing, and the applicant for this is available on Zoom and is prepared to share some information as well.
Thank you so much, Madam President, members of the council. My name is Jonathan Silverstein. I am special counsel, as Director Hunt indicated, on this matter. I've been working with planning staff and the applicant for several months on the zoning amendment that is before you tonight for public hearing. It's undergone a number of changes, been a very cooperative process. Just to remind the council process-wise, how we got here and what comes next. Under the zoning recodification and the new PDD zoning provision in section 9.2, the process began with an application from the proposed developer that was vetted in great detail by planning staff and ultimately came before the Community Development Board for a public hearing before it ever came to this body. That public hearing took place in April, and as a result of that public hearing, there was a draft amendment, zoning amendment, that was presented to the council last month, I believe, or maybe, no, in June, for referral to the Community Development Board, because under state law, under the State Zoning Act, Chapter 48, Section 5, a second public hearing was required at that point from the Community Development Board after the council referred it to that board. The Community Development Board held its public hearing on August 2nd and unanimously voted to recommend that the council approve the amendment with the minor modifications that had been made since it was last before you. I did on August 9 prepare a brief memorandum to the council, just summarizing some of those changes. They're really very minor and of a clarifying nature. Nothing about the project as proposed has changed. And so before you tonight is the proposed zoning amendment. And I just want to emphasize what approval of the zoning amendment tonight would do. It would not approve the project. It would approve the zoning amendment. It would create the first planned development district in the city. And that would allow the applicant to submit a special permit application and a site plan review application to the council. It would go through the normal process at that point, and the council would have all the discretion it normally would with respect to any special permit. So and there'll be, of course, a special permit public hearing. It would be at that public hearing that the details of the project and potential impacts of the project would be discussed, vetted by the council. The council would have all of the typical ability to hire peer review consultants and obtain department head input and advice, impose any conditions that it felt appropriate. So tonight is really just about the legislative framework, creating the planned development district that would allow the applicant to follow through with that next step. So with that procedural summary, I'm happy to walk the council through the amendment and answer any questions that councilors may have.
Thank you. Are there any questions from councilors at this time? Thank you, Attorney Silverstein. Will we also be getting a presentation from the petitioner as well, or you'll be serving as that? I
believe that the applicant is on Zoom and prepared to make a presentation.
Okay, great. So we'll hear from you first and then we'll go to them, or?
Yeah, I think obviously it's up to the council what order, but I think it would make sense if the council has no questions for me at this time to give the applicant an opportunity to present. And then of course I'll stay here for any questions you may have afterwards.
I do see Adam Barnowski. representing as part of the commissioner.
Yes. Thank you, Attorney Silverstein. Good evening, Madam President, members of the City Council. Can you hear me all right?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. So I'm an attorney for 96-102 Winchester Street, LLC, which is the property owner and the proposed developer. With me, developer Nardone, Peter Quinn, the project architect, as well as my co-counsel, Michael Barone, all available today via Zoom. As Attorney Silverstein mentioned, we are here relative to a new planned development district pursuant to Section 9.2 of the zoning ordinance. We're very excited about this proposal. It has been a long time in development. And with the PDD process being new to the city, we do appreciate all the efforts by all parties at the city to date. So I want to provide the council with an overview of the property and the proposed zoning. And pursuant to the scope of the hearing, and as mentioned by Attorney Silverstein, I will limit my presentation to the zoning components of the application, but we do have the ability to discuss any components of the underlying project if any members of the council are interested in hearing at this time. As a way of a background, this PDD has been through extensive process and outreach with community development, including preliminary meetings. We had a community outreach meeting and several public appearances before the Community Development Board. And this application does come before you with unanimous support of that board. So first about the property. The proposed PDD site is located on the southern portion of Winchester Street, due east from the Ball Square T-stop. The site consists of 3 lots measuring just under 50,000 square feet. The 2 lots located at 96-102 Winchester Street are contiguous through lots with frontage on Winchester and Alfred Street. They've been used for many years as a mix of commercial space for offices, garaging, and outdoor vehicle storage. The lot located at 104 Winchester Street is a corner lot with frontage on Winchester and Albion Streets. 104 is improved with a 2-story residence that's been deemed for the pursuit of Historical Commission. The site is located predominantly in the general residential zoning district with a small portion in the commercial C1 zoning district. The team thought that this property would be an appropriate location for the PDD because of its size and its current use within the zoning district and its alignment with the city's recently adopted comprehensive plan. It lends itself to a use that's more consistent with the residential nature of the neighborhood and in relation to the multifamily projects that have been developed in recent years in the surrounding area. It is worth noting that the PDD was developed with specific uses and structure in mind, and as such, the proposed zoning is specific to this PDD and to a specific project. However, it's worth noting the process here, as the council is aware that if this PDD is approved and adopted by this city council, we will then come back before both Community Development Board and this city council to discuss all of the intricacies as far as the design of the building goes and the uses that are contained therein. So as tonight's hearing only relates to the approval of the PDD and not regarding any project, I want to get into some of the zoning. So you have a draft zoning amendment before you, which is listed in the proposed section 94-9.2A5 of the zoning ordinance. It details the proposed uses and the proposed dimensional requirements under the overlay. We tailored the use table to be more in line with the intended uses for the property. It's crafted to be consistent with the surrounding area that is primarily residential with ancillary low impact commercial. So that's the uses, and the use table, as you look through it, is fairly uncomplicated, and the uses contained are consistent with a multifamily dwelling. Dimensionally, the dimensional elements are intended to blend the underlying district's requirements with certain modifications to accommodate the scale without disrupting the neighborhood, and to allow room to modify in the event that there are certain requests that are made by boards later on during the special permit process. As currently drafted, this PDD has proposed heights in line with recent developments in the area along Broadway, setbacks similar to existing conditions at neighboring properties, below grade parking in excess of underlying requirements, and reasonable open space and lot coverage requirements for the area. In a broader context, the proposed PDD is intended to create a gradual transition between the zoning district along Broadway into the GR zoning district of the subject PUD. As I mentioned, while the project is primarily located in the GR, it abuts and is partially located in the C1. And as this council is aware, the commercial district along Broadway is now becoming even more typified by mixed-use development, multifamily development, and a continuation of commercial uses. So the site and the PDD, we believe, fit within the broader transitioning of the area and of the city, particularly in relation to the district's proximity to the GLX and Ball Square stations. So we're happy to walk through any particular part of the zoning ordinance or answer any questions that the board may have. And as I mentioned before, we do have the design team, ownership, and my co-counsel on the line to answer any questions you might have. Thank you.
Madam President.
Thank you. Councilor Scarpelli.
Thank you, Councilor. You made a great presentation for the city of Somerville. You said Broadway 5 times. And this is what we've been talking about here in Medford with the lack of the movement with our zoning consultant to look at what Medford wants to do. And so I just think that you said some things with the neighborhood, but I know the neighborhood on the Medford side has a real problem with this area right now because of some fears and because of lack of true understanding where we're going in our community. The spot development, we're seeing that happen all over the city. But these are the issues that I find being a problem when the council for the projects has mentioned how it appeals to Broadway, which isn't Medford. So I tend to be a little leery. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Scarpelli. Any other questions from councilors at this time? Seeing none, as this is a public, or Attorney Silverstein, did you want to come up and add anything else about the process? Or I was going to open the public hearing and go from there.
Not at this time, Madam President.
Thank you. Okay, as this is a public hearing, I do need to open it up. So we will open up the public hearing. Is there anyone who would like to speak in favor of this paper? Zoom folks who are petitioners for this project would want to speak in favor, either on Zoom or in person. If you're on Zoom, please raise your hand or flag me down. If you'd like to speak in favor of this paper. Attorney Barnard, so you're at least one person who wants to speak in favor of this, or you are in favor of this paper?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Was that a question for me, Madam President?
Yeah, just asking for anyone to speak in favor, and generally the petitioner is in favor of the paper, so it's the procedural way of the public hearing.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else on the call who would like to speak in favor of this paper before us, or anyone in person? Seeing none, this portion of the public hearing is closed. Is there anyone who would like to speak in opposition of the paper before us, either in person or on Zoom? Seeing none, this portion of the public hearing is closed. Do I have any further discussion from the council or a motion?
Motion to waive the 6-day public comment period and approve.
We have a motion by Vice Affairs to waive the 6-day public comment period and approve. Councilor Scarpelli.
I would really, again, when you're talking about a project like this and what it affects and when we're doing it, where we're not having meetings, I think that's a slippery slope again, Council. I would recommend that you wouldn't do that.
I withdraw the motion. I would move to approve pending the 6-day public comment period. My apologies. I worded it wrong. Okay. All right. Thank you.
So we have a motion from Vice President Bears to approve pending the 6-day public comment period, seconded by Councilor Collins. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
It's my bad. Thank you. No.
That's very aggressive.
Vice President. Yes. Council Carviallo. Yes.
Yes.
Council Knight is absent. Council Scarpelli.
No.
Council Singh.
Yes.
President Long.
Yes, 5 in the affirmative, 1 in the negative, 1 absent. The paper is approved pending the 6-day public comment period. Going to 23- petitions, presentations, and similar papers. 23-383 to City Council President Nicole Merrill and honorable members of the Medford City Council from the Office of Planning, Development, and Sustainability regarding the proposed planned development district 2 ordinance amendment for 253 Mystic Avenue, Medford, Mass. 02155, parcel map T-10-70B. For the procedures outlined in section 94-9.2 PDD of the Medford zoning ordinance, the applicant 243 Mystic Ave LLC submitted a proposed amendment PDD for the site located at 243 Mystic Ave, Medford, Mass. 02155, assessors map T-10-70B as shown on the locus map PDD 2. The property is located in a commercial 2C2 zoning district. The applicant proposes zoning to align with prospective project, which would include an 8-story structure with life science lab and office uses. The Community Development Board has held a public hearing on August 2nd, 2023, notice in accordance with MGL Chapter 40A, Section 11. Though not required, a courtesy notice was sent out to abutters within 400 feet of the site. In accordance with MGL Chapter 44, Section 53G, and the Community Development Board rule regarding consultant fees, the city retained legal counsel, Attorney Gareth Orsmond of Pierce Atwood LLC, to prepare the text of the amendment and provide associated legal support to staff and the board. Thus, the Community Development Board voted unanimously to submit the proposed zoning amendment per Medford zoning ordinance section 94-9.2.32 to the City Council to initiate the statutory requirements for amending zoning. Per MGL Chapter 48, Section 5, the zoning amendment now must be referred from City Council to the Community Development Board, who will hold a duly noticed public hearing. The City Council will hold a subsequent public hearing for this amendment after a report with recommendations by the Community Development Board has been submitted to the Council. We thank you for your review of this matter and are happy to provide additional information. As this came from the Office of Planning, Development, and Sustainability, I will go to Director Hunt for any additional information.
Madam President, thank you. I would just sort of iterate, this is actually the same process that was just explained to you by Attorney Silverstein. We're just earlier in the process here. So this development came to us. They were in front of the CD board. In this case, we hired a different attorney to work with them. So Attorney Gareth Osmond of Pierce Atwood is the attorney of record. Unfortunately, he's not available this evening. But we did not want to make the applicant wait several more weeks for this step in the process. So he has been working with them, the applicant, and the CD board to draft a zoning. This is the step where there is a required legal referral from this council to the CD board. The CD board will then hold a hearing, and then it will come back in front of this council for review. But this step this evening is the earlier step where the city council must refer it to the CD board. So I'm available, and actually I will let you know that the applicant is here this evening in the chambers. We're not planning to have them present the project, but if there were any clarifying questions or anything, they are available this evening.
Thank you. Any questions from councilors' discussion at this time? Vice President Bears.
I'm happy to just motion to refer this to Community Development Board, but I do, given that they did come in person, if they want to say anything, I want to give them a chance to say something before we move on.
If you want, you don't have to.
You don't have to. I just don't want you to feel like we rushed you out of the room.
And just name and address for the record, please.
Yes, Madam Chair. Attorney Jim Heffernan at Rich May. I'm an attorney for the applicant, Varen Bio, and just thank you for hearing this. Like you heard before, we're kind of 2 steps behind, so we'll be seeing you again at least 2 more times at public hearings. So look forward to presenting it in further detail, and thank you for hearing us tonight.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. I'd move to refer to Community Development.
Second.
On the motion of Vice President Bears to refer to Community Development Board, seconded by Councilor Singh. All those in favor?
Aye.
Oh, it's a roll call. Sorry. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Vice President Pierce. Yes. Council Carviallo.
Yes.
Council Collins.
Yes.
Council Knight is absent. Council Scarpelli.
Yes.
Council Singh.
Yes.
President Long.
Yes, 6 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative, 1 absent. The motion passes. 23-384, petition for common victualer's license by Mejunur R. Joel for Mystic Market, 199 Mystic Avenue, Medford, Mass. 02155. Do we have the petitioner either in person? Great. If you want to come up and just tell us a little bit about what you're looking for here.
Good evening. I'm new to this process.
Sure. If you want to just tell us a little bit about the business, and then we'll take it from there.
Okay. I'm taking over from the person who's owns now. I'll be running as it is.
What is it?
It's a convenience store.
So you're taking over the Boyles?
Yes.
Okay. So Madam President, I see everything in place. Before I open up, there is one question. You were applying for workman's comp. Is that completed?
Sorry?
It says that you were going to apply for your insurance.
Yes, I did.
You have that?
Yes.
I mean, we can, Madam President, to the clerk, if the gentleman could just forward you that, so I would move in favor, as long as you have that document in hand tomorrow. I don't want to hold it up, but if we can do that, if you said you have it, just send a copy, then my recommendation would be to move and approve. Sure. And as long as the clerk has that tomorrow. Is that okay?
Sure.
All right. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. Any other questions, discussion from the council? So the motion from Councilor Scarpelli is to approve pending receiving the
correct.
Just copy of the insurance
right.
tomorrow.
Right.
Seconded by Councilor Carviallo. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The motion passes.
Yeah, was that tough?
Well done. Yeah.
That was good. Good luck.
23-385 petition for common victualer's license by Christopher Baum and Fernando Cruz for TE Pizza doing business as Domino's, 199C Mystic Ave, Medford, Mass. 02155. Do we have the petitioner on the line, or may have been the gentleman before? Is anyone here on Zoom representing Domino's? Okay, motion table first. Okay.
Next week.
We will, motion from Councilor Carviallo to table this paper, second by Councilor Scarpelli. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes. And if that person, if you are from Domino's, you end up joining the call, or you are in the call, you stepped away, flag us down. We can handle it tonight. Motions, orders, and resolutions.
Madam President,
Councilor Scarpelli.
can we just dismiss 23-386, please?
Hey, request from Councilor Scarpelli to withdraw 23-386. Okay, going on to 23-387, offered by Councilor Scarpelli. Be it resolved that the City Council invite the Director of the Health Department to discuss ongoing concerns with rat infestation around the city. Councilor Scarpelli.
Thank you, Madam President. I'm sure that everybody's heard and everybody's, it's not just in Medford. This is a pretty severe issue, all over the Commonwealth. I mean, you're hearing that now that you're seeing this rat infestation, not just in where they traditionally would find them, close to restaurants or close to water. Now you're finding them in areas like the Heights, where most of the homes there are ledge, and so it's starting to become even more disturbing. So I know that the Board of Health is super busy, but I think we need to find an avenue where we're putting together a serious team that's devoted to this issue right now. I think that what we're seeing right now, residents contacting us, and then I know that the Board of Health is responding piecemeal. I know that something was sent out, and it was forwarded by one of the residents that reached out to me, who requested this resolution be brought up. That now what we've been talking about for a while is having the possibility of the Board of Health, as long as the homeowner is willing to allow them on their property, they're willing to do some abatement on private property. In the past, that's been an issue. I know this council move forward to try to find a solution where we have the Board of Health work together with residents, because one of the questions back, maybe 2 years ago was that you could see the nest, but unfortunately the exterminating company couldn't go 1 foot to that nest that had the issue because it was on private property. So I think we need to do a better job communicating with not just people that are complaining, but I think the community as a whole. And then really look at some sort of a plan. I know that everybody's saying that some of it's development, the movement of the streets. Here's the thing. We haven't done much development, and we haven't really fixed many streets and sidewalks. And when you're seeing projects like tonight that are coming up, we're going to see some more movement. We're going to see some more, we're going to see greater projects, and we're going to see the earth being moved in a greater capacity, which means more of that rat infestation moving from, from one area to the rest of the community. So, we do have a problem. I know that the resident that contacted me, that the Board of Health moved to support that neighborhood, but once we heard that, the feedback I got was this isn't just in one neighborhood. This neighborhood was in the Heights, by the way. But then I got phone calls when I put this resolution up. I had phone calls with, South Medford. I had phone calls West Medford, the Hillside. I had phone calls in the Wellington area. So it really stirred the nest, to say the least. So I think we really need to really be proactive right now. I mean, when you're talking about the summer, in a few months, rodents are going to leave the exterior of our neighborhoods and now try to find homes and businesses to infiltrate. So I think if we can, I know that we put it out there. I would make a motion that we have a meeting with the Board of Health, and any other department that needs to be involved. I think that, whether it's DPW or code enforcement, that we bring all the parties together to try to find a way to put a program in place. Again, I'm not going to, I know neighboring communities. I've talked to neighboring communities, and they've had remediation plans that go, they're pretty deep. It doesn't look at just, baiting catch basins and putting in traps. They're really looking with different entities to bring in to help us stop the reproduction of the rats and their nests. So again, I know it was a little winded, but I think this is serious. This is something that it's coming up a lot, and we don't hear any solutions. So I would make the motion that we contact the Board of Health, the code enforcement, the DPW department, and someone from the mayor's office from communications to try to find a way that we send out a detailed plan and try to at least get the information that's needed to help this process along. So thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Scarpelli. Councilor Carviallo.
Thank you, Madam President. Councilor Scarpelli is right. It's a problem that's not going away. The Board of Health has probably done their best that they could, but I think we need to step up around the whole community. I'm getting the same calls. I'm sure everyone else is getting the calls about the rats. I'm getting pictures of rats from different homes and sites. So again, I think we need to do a lot better. We should be doing a lot better on trying to get rid of this rat infestation, because like I said, that pretty soon the project's going to be starting around, and the earth's going to get moved again, and the rat's going to keep coming out, and these are in all neighborhoods with his homes and residents. And I'm a little hesitant about the garbage thing. When under the composting, under the new plan there, I'm hearing a lot of feedback from residents that they're a little concerned that we're separating the food for the rats. So I think before we we get into that, I think I think we need to have a little more discussion with the composting program too, to see how that's going to work and how that's worked in other communities with rat infestation.
Thank you. Councilor Sang.
Thank you. Thank you, Councilor Scarpelli, for putting forward this resolution. I am sure we've all heard a lot about the rats. I know I've been bringing up the rats a lot in the last few months as well. I think it'd be a great idea to meet with the BOH and with the director of the health department, particularly because a few months ago we had heard during the budget committee of the holes where Director O'Connor came up to us. She detailed some of her plans or what the department's currently working on and what they would like to get in place but haven't gotten in place yet. And so I think Councilor Scarpelli alluded to this, but we do have a contract with Yankee Pest who will come in and treat burrows and nests on private property. They'll come in once for inspection and a second time to treat. Director O'Connor also mentioned that they're looking at doing what Malden and Somerville are doing with regards to catching and killing rats. The rat trap boxes that they have in Malden and Somerville, she said that was maybe an option. I don't think we have that in Medford right now, so it'd be great to get progress on that. I think that it would be good just to go in depth about rat treatment and infestation. And with regards to the trash program, I think residents might have concerns, but we do have numbers with regards to which types of cans are being in bins are being eaten into, and ones with locks are just much stronger than ones without. Thanks.
Thank you. Councilor Collins.
Thank you. I think that Councilor Sang covered most of what I was going to say relating to locking bins being actually shown to be a really secure way to rat-proof containers. Just, I think it's a common misconception that composting can increase rat problems. I think it's actually not necessarily the case, which is, great for the city on a lot of fronts because of those locking containers can actually keep rats out better. I think that the bigger picture that we're all really concerned about, we all hear about all the time, is that everybody's seeing rats everywhere all the time, and it's a problem. And this is something that we need to start being proactive about so that we don't have to resort to those rat extermination measures that I think nobody wants to use that are also a threat to other beloved parts of our ecosystem, like the bald eagles along the Mystic River watershed. I think this is something that comes up a lot on the city council. This is, to really attack this in a proactive way takes money that we don't currently have in our operating budget. And so I think it would be great if we can align with our department heads and make sure that we're doing everything that we can be doing with our current resources. And we need to be pushing for that future operational budget so that we can have, I think Councilor Scarpelli makes a great point. We need to have a standing working committee, working group, whatever that looks like, so that we're really addressing this problem and not letting it continue to boil over. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Collins. Councilor Sang.
And another quick point I think should be made, and this might be beating a dead drum, but there are good ideas out there that are being tested and implemented even in municipalities around us, like Councilor Scarpelli said. A lot of it just requires money and resources, and we need to figure out how we're going to fund all these programs. That's the perennial challenge of our city. We have a lot facing us in the next budget season, and we need a concrete plan to do that.
Thank you, Councilor Sang. So on the motion of Councilor Scarpelli, as amended by Councilor Scarpelli, seconded by Councilor Carviello, all those in favor? All those opposed? Motion passes. The gentleman from Domino's is on the call. I'll mention that if anyone wants to do anything. Councilor Scarpelli. Sure. So a motion from Councilor Scarpelli to take 23-385 off the table. Second by Councilor Carviello. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes. So we'll go back to 23285, petition for common victualer's license by Christopher Baum and Fernando Cruz for TE Pizza, doing business as Domino's, 199C Mystic Ave, Medford, Mass. I will turn over to you on Zoom. If you could just give name and address and just a brief summary of what the business is.
Hello, everyone. I'm sorry, I had some technical issue. My name is Breno Silva. I'm here representing Domino's, TE Pizza, DBA Domino's. We are located at 199C Mystic Avenue in Medford. My current office is 77 Mammoth Road in Lowell, Massachusetts.
Thank you. We'll go to Councilor Scarpelli, Chair of the Licensing Committee.
Thanks for being here. As I'm going through the, everything looks good. I think that, what are your hours of operations that you plan on using?
We're keeping the same operation hours as current.
I think that's my question, my fellow councilors. I believe that when we allow a special permit for extended hours, it goes, do we see any restrictions with that? Because I don't.
The requested hours here is 7 to 11, so.
Right, so 7 o'clock to 11 o'clock, is that?
No.
Right, so that's the issue, because we allow a certain hourly, certain hours, and then to go to the 2 o'clock requested 10:30 to 10 a.m., 10:30 a.m. to 2, you have it scratched off on the requested hours. You have to come back for a special permit for that. So as we approve this, the hours have to change to 11 o'clock until the special permit is heard. Because on the petition, it says requested hours 10:30 a.m. and then it's crossed out. You had 2 a.m. and then below it is 7 a.m. to 11.
Okay, that wasn't us. Our operation hours were 10:30 a.m. to 1 in the morning, and then Friday and Saturday. On the weekends, we close at 2 in the morning.
Right. What I'm telling you, you can't do that until the permit that's requested in front of us is a request from 7 a.m. to 11. To extend those hours, you have to come in front of us with a special permit for extended hours use.
Okay.
By changing over, the ownership changes. The vote that was taken in the past is dismissed, and now it starts again.
I see. And I would just have to go on the website to request a special permit, or how would I go about getting the special permit for the extended hours?
You can call the clerk's office and they can help you with that. So we can vote tonight.
Right.
Till 11. You just need to then request to get those extended hours.
Right. If we could do that, we don't want to hurt you. We just want to make sure you get everything you need in place so there isn't an issue later. Because there isn't.
Appreciate it.
I would move forward. I would move forward with the petition's request right now in favor, and the petitioner can contact the clerk in the morning for the extended hours.
So we have a motion from Councilor Scarpelli to Councilor Carviallo.
Thank you, Madam President. Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, we have a question from one of the councilors, if you can hear him.
Hi, are you still there?
Yes, still here.
My question is, I frequent that area a lot. What I do notice from your drivers and from is a lot of litter in that parking lot. And they're all Domino's receipts and things like that. If you could stay on top of that and clean them up, it's not fair to the other people in that strip. They have to clean up all the receipts and things that are left out there every night. So when they come in the morning, they're there. So I appreciate if you would overnight it and have your drivers not leave their stuff in the parking lot.
Thank you. We'll be taking care of that.
Thank you. So we have a motion from Councilor Scarpelli to approve tonight with the regular hours. So that would go to 11. And then you call the clerk's office and they can help you with the application for the special permit. So motion from Councilor Scarpelli to approve, seconded by Councilor Carviallo. All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion passes. Again, this is approved to the 11 o'clock time, and you can call the clerk tomorrow and he'll help you out with that.
Thank you. I just have one more question.
Sure.
When will be the next meeting so I will be able to come in?
Our next regular meeting is September 5th.
September 5th. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, and depending when the paperwork comes in, it may be later, but the clerk can talk to you about that tomorrow.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Going to paper, communications from the mayor, 23-388. 2 To Honorable President and members of the Medford City Council regarding proposed wage adjustment for DPW union. I respectfully request and recommend that the City Council approve the following amendments to the revised ordinance, Chapter 66, Article 2. City of Medford Amendment to revise ordinances, Chapter 66, Article 2. Be ordained by the City Council of the City of Medford in Chapter 66, entitled Personnel, Article 2, entitled Reserve, the city's classification and compensation plan, formerly included as Article 2, Section 6631 through 6640. Amend the figures as they presently appear next to the following title by adjusting each to reflect the following percentage wage increases and effective dates. DPW, effective July 1st, 2022, increase the base salary of all DPW union titles by 2.5%. Effective July 1st, 2023, increase the base salary of all DPW union titles by 2.5%. Effective July 1st, 2024, increase the base salary of all DPW union titles by 3%. Effective July 1st, 2025, increase the base salary of all DPW union titles by 2.5%. Effective July 1st, 2026, increase the base salary of all DPW union titles by 2.5%. The following department heads will be available to answer any questions. Human Resources Director Lisa Crowley and Finance Director / Auditor Bob Dickinson. Thank you for your kind attention to this matter. Respectfully submitted, Brenna Longo Kern, Mayor. Vice President Paris.
Thank you, Madam President. Thank you, Director Crowley, Director Dickinson. Just want to confirm this reflects a signed, ratified union and contract agreement ratified by the members.
That's correct.
Great, thank you.
If I can, were there any other clauses that aren't in this that, any stipends or anything else that was added to this that we're not seeing?
That was added, for we.
COVID money or?
So yes, so there'll be two COVID, there'll be two COVID payments, for anybody who worked in 2020, they'll receive a $750 COVID payment. Anybody who worked in 2021 will also receive a $750 COVID payment. We'll do it in one $1,500 bucket. There were some longevity. We didn't touch the longevity. There were a few stipends that I think we may have gone up $25 on. So I can get whatever figures you're looking for.
No, it's okay. Just I trust
yes,
you. And then we have the retro that's involved as well.
Retro is also involved.
Okay.
Correct.
Madam President, I would waive any time restraints. I think these employees have waited long enough that we move forward and move this through as fast as we can. So I move approval. Thank you.
So your motion is to ordain tonight and waive the 3 readings. The motion of Councilor Scarpelli, seconded by Councilor Carvello. For any further discussion from the council? Okay. So on the motion of Councilor Scarpelli to waive the 3 readings, seconded by Councilor Carvello, Mr. Clerk, please call the roll. I'm sorry.
Vice President Ferris.
Yes.
Councilor Carviallo.
Yes.
Councilor Collins.
Yes.
Councilor Knight is absent. Councilor Scarpelli.
Yes.
Councilor Singh. President Morrell.
Yes, 6 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative, 1 absent. Motion passes. On the motion of Councilor Scarpelli to approve to be ordained tonight. Second by Councilor Carviallo.
Vice President Ferris.
Yes.
Councilor Carviallo.
Yes.
Councilor Collins.
Yes.
Councilor Knight is absent. Councilor Scarpelli.
Yes.
Councilor Singh. President Morrell.
Yes, 6 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative, 1 absent. The motion passes.
Thank you.
Public participation. Thank you so much. Public participation. Is there anyone here in person or on Zoom who would like to speak for public participation? Seeing none, that is the end of our regular agenda. Vice President Ferris.
Madam President, motion to take paper 21-422 off the table and receive and place on file.
On the motion, Vice President Ferris to take 21-422 off the table and receive and place on file.
I can provide slightly more information if anyone wants it, which is that this was Citizens Bank and Haynes Square. They came to us asking to do ADA upgrades and do it outside on the public sidewalk, create a ramp on the public sidewalk. They did it inside in their own space, which I think is much better use of public space. And it is now accessible to get into that lobby from the internal thing. So
Thank you. Motion of Vice President Barris, seconded by Councilor Carviallo. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes. On the motion of Councilor Collins to adjourn, seconded by Councilor Singh. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Motion passes. Meeting is adjourned.